This is called the sailing mast technique. It was inspired by a teaching that I received from Franklin Sills at the Buddhist Karuna Institute in Devon, Britain, and it's very much orienting to the midline, which is where you get a sense of your vertical axis from the crown all the way down to the neck spine, the thoracic spine, lumbar spine, tailbone down to the ground. And this is a technique for people who've done quite a lot of work on themselves, who are very used to getting in touch with the felt sense of the body. So all you need to do is to sit up straight, comfortably, and have a bit of space around you. You can just move slightly more freely. Don't be hemmed in an armchair. And sitting up slightly straighter than normal, you can immediately feel your lower spine stretching out a bit. And if you just bring your upper spine into gentle awareness, so putting your hands on your shoulders and rotating your shoulder, your thoracic spine, you can start to feel this central axis of your thoracic spine, and then the neck spine by rotating your head like this. And then if you just kind of imagine the top of your crown is sort of stretching up, so you've got this vertical axis going up all the way down through your midline and then down to the floor beneath you. I'd like you to imagine that you're sailing yacht, and the midline is like the mast of a sailing boat, and it goes up above your head a bit, and it goes down like the rudder of a sailing yacht into the sea beneath you. And I'd like to imagine that you're a yacht on a calm sea, but there's a very, very slight ocean swell beneath you, and that this mast is actually just very slightly being moved about. So you're rocking very, very slowly on a lovely, calm, gentle ocean-like swell, and you can feel the mast going very slightly from side to side as your body moves. And see if you can just really feel the mast continuing down like a rudder going into the water beneath you. And so your mast is here. If you move this way, the rudder moves across like that. And if you move this way, the rudder comes underneath you and moves you across to the other side. So if you move forward, it goes down behind you in the water, and if you move backwards, it goes down into the water in front of you. So it's literally getting a very, very strong sense of this vertical midline that goes up a bit and down through the middle of the body into the water below. And if you can do this really slowly and really see if you can sense the midline dropping down into the space below you. At first you may need to imagine this. You may need to kind of just play around with your imagination. Imagine the plumb line going right down, the rudder going right down into the water beneath you. But as you kind of experiment a little bit more by rocking from side to side or backwards and forwards, you can start to get a sense of almost like a magnetic pull going down into the ground, or a little bit like a gyroscope spinning. You can feel like the center of gravity kind of changing beneath you, and you start to realize that your center of gravity can be really down quite a lot lower into the ground or into the water beneath you. And then once you've got this sense of connection down. I've got a really strong sense of it now. So when I'm moving, I can kind of feel a reaction beneath me. Then very gently just allow the ocean to go completely still, and allow the sailing boat just to come to a complete standstill. So it's just resting in a buoyant, calm space. And see if you can maintain a sense of the lower midline going down, just coming to a resting point where things are just settled. And if you can get into this space, it's incredibly stilling, it's very calming, and it's very good for all stress responses, because your focus comes right back home to your center, and you really feel your place on the ground, and there's a lovely buoyant flowing quality to it. There's nothing fixed or held. It's here, the experience is flowing, there's plenty of space, and then this can really help the mind come home to the body, or the awareness settles back into the body. The attention's here, which is really helpful. And one last thing is the space between the ears and the shoulders. It's quite useful to see if you have a sense of space in this area too. Just sensing that around the neck, if you're centered down through the middle, you may start to get a sense of the space around the head and neck here. Often with tinnitus people, it's all very cluttered, but if we have this lovely open sense of space around the jaw and the neck and the shoulders, especially between the ears and the shoulders, it's really, really helpful for tinnitus for some reason.